To access Web Ignite, you will need either the IP address of the server or the host name of the server. Once you have obtained that piece of information, on the client PC, pull up your internet browser and type in the URL in the address field following this format: http://IP address of the server /ignite or http://host name of the server /ignite. In this example, I'm going to use the IP address of the server. After keying the address, press enter, and it should bring up the Ignite logon screen. Your user credentials will be provided to you by your system administrator. On the logon screen, enter in your username and password, and then click Sign In. If you have a voice agent assigned to you, you will be prompted to log into your phone when you first log on to Web Ignite. This is necessary for voice support in order to be able to accept calls at your extension. Specific to this example, I'll go ahead and enter my extension and leave the PIN field blank. In a real-world scenario, you may be required to enter a PIN, in which case, please do so. Lastly, you have the option for automatic login. Leave a check mark on this checkbox if you want to be automatically logged into your phone when setting yourself to available in Ignite. Moving on, note that you have the option to save the phone information, click Login, and now we've successfully logged on to Web Ignite. There are 5 notable sections in Web Ignite. You have the header, agent stats, navigation pane, list pane, and the preview pane. Starting off with the header section, clicking on the MiTo logo or Ignite will route you to the landing page, which by default is set to your inbox. Still in the header, you have the feedback button. This allows you to view and post in the forums for the purposes of sending feedback directly to the people building the product. While we cannot comment on every suggestion, feedback is analyzed and considered for future releases. Up next, you have the Contacts button. This enables you to search for contacts and communicate with them by voice, email, SMS, or open media. Here, you have the options to search for all or search employees, queues, external contacts, and the Active Directory. New to MiContact Center Business Release 9.0, you are now given the ability to add and import contacts as well. Going back to the header, you have the New Call button. As the button name suggests, this is used if you want to make a new call. Clicking on it will bring up your voice contacts window from where you can search for the contacts you want to call. Next, you have your avatar and overriding state. That also includes a timer at the far end that displays the duration you've been in that particular state. When you click on the avatar, this will bring up a window where you can view and manage your state and agent group presence. Directly below the header, you will see the agent statistics area. This contains agent handling statistics for each of the media types you handle. As in this example, because I support voice, emails, SMS, and chats, I can see them all here. Clicking on the More button will show my workload, ACD, non-ACD, average handling time, and unavailable percentage. Next, we have the navigation pane. This gives me access to the other areas of Web Ignite. From here, I can access my dashboards, inbox, history, queues, cases. I can also configure options and access tools. If you find that you need more room or space when working in Web Ignite, you can collapse the navigation pane by clicking on the button provided below. The list pane shows and displays the contents of the folder selected in the navigation pane. As an example, when I click History, it now lists the contents of that folder. Lastly, the Preview pane displays the contents of the items selected in the List pane. Still following the same example, when I choose any item in the History folder, you can see that the Preview pane updates accordingly to display the contents of that selected item. To be offered voice calls in Web Ignite, you need to make sure that you are present to the agent group and currently in available state. When the voice call gets pushed to your inbox, you will get a toaster notification from where you can accept the voice call. You will notice that you cannot explicitly decline a ringing call. The option to do so is not available. To accept, click on the button provided, denoted by a checkmark icon. With MiContact Center Release 9.0, agents can request help from other agents as well as from supervisors. It is possible then that the voice call you are getting is a help request. If so, the Ignite toaster displays Request Help Received and the name of the person requesting help. Accepted requests are entered in silent monitor mode. We will discuss this in more detail in another video. If you missed the toaster notification, you can go to your inbox and view the voice call from there. You can hover over the item's avatar and click on Accept. You can also click on the item, after which the details of the voice call interaction will be displayed in the preview pane, and looking at the available media functions, you can click on Accept. As we would when handling voice calls, you talk to the customer and ask how you can assist them. In the meantime, in Web Ignite, you can look through the information that will give you more insight into the customer's journey or history with the organization. Looking at the media functions available at the top, we can place a call on hold. To remove hold, click on the Remove Hold button. Next to that, you can hang up, obviously for when the call is done. When you come to a point where you realize the call would have to be transferred to resolve the request, you can transfer the call. In some cases, you may have to invite another person in a call, and if so, you can click on the Invite button. Similar to other interactions in Web Ignite, codes can be applied for reporting purposes. Lastly, if you find that you need help to resolve the customer's request, then you can click on the Request Help button. Let's suppose that we're done with this voice call. We can hang up. Depending on your site configuration, you may be required to apply codes. If so, you need to enter a code to be able to clear the work timer state. The codes that you see here are programmed by the system administrator for reporting purposes. After applying a code, you are still in work timer state. At this point, you can use the time to complete your after call work. When done, you can wait for the time to expire or clear the work timer to set yourself to available.
You manage your availability in Web Ignite through agent group presence and agent states. Agent groups are responsible for answering interactions routed to queues. Individual agents are then assigned to these agent groups. When you are present to an agent group, you can be offered interactions. Interactions may be pushed automatically to your inbox, picked out of a queue, or sent by your supervisor. When you are absent to an agent group, you cannot handle interactions for that queue.
In Web Ignite, you manage your agent group presence by clicking on your avatar. This will bring up this window with two tabs, and you want to go to the Agent Groups tab. This will show you all the agent groups you are a member of, along with the information on whether you are present or absent for the media type you support for that agent group. You know you are present when the respective icon is blue and absent when gray. Let's say I don't want to be offered calls for the tech support agent group. To do so, I must click on the phone icon and click Update. It is as easy as that. This can be tricky to detect, however, just by looking at this area. When you are supporting multiple agent groups, such as in my case, you can see that the phone icon has not really changed. It's still green and my overriding state is still available. This is primarily because I'm still present and available for the other agent group I am a member of, where I support voice calls as well. And since I don't have any active and ongoing interactions for all the other media types I support, my overriding state is still available. One way to help understand the behavior of these states is distinguishing between employee state and agent state. I am the employee and I can have multiple agent IDs associated to me. To view my employee state, I can look at this area, And to view my various agent states, I can look at this area here. To demonstrate this, let's say I want to be absent from voice support altogether. I can click on my avatar again, go to Agent Groups, and click on the phone icon for the training agent group this time. Remember, you must click on the update button to apply the change. After doing that, you can see that when I look at my employee state, it's still available because I am for the other media types I support. But when I look at my agent states, I can verify that I won't be offered voice calls anymore. The headset icon is orange, and when I hover over it, it says away, not present.
The ability to manage agent group presence is tied to your security role and therefore determined by the system administrator. This means that depending on the permissions assigned to you, you may or may not have this function available. Another way of managing your availability to handle interactions in Web Ignite is by managing agent states.
To manage agent states, click on your avatar and go to the State tab. From there, you will see the states you can go into. You can set yourself to available, busy, do not disturb, and offline. You also have the option to log out. It is as easy as clicking on a state and choosing the reason why you're going into this state. Let's talk about busy and do not disturb. If at any point during your shift you find yourself unavailable to handle interactions, you can put yourself in a busy state. To do so, click your avatar and under the State tab, choose Busy. You will then be prompted to choose the reason why you're going into this busy state. The reason codes that you will see are programmed by the system administrator for reporting purposes. Therefore, what I have here on the screen is specific to our site. Continuing with our example, I'll choose training as the reason, and that's that. When we look at the overriding state and the agent states, you will see they've all been set to a busy state. After some time, you want to remove yourself from this busy state and back to available so you can handle interactions. In this example, let's assume I'm finished with a training session. I have two ways I can go about making myself available. For both, I must click on my avatar and choose state. From here, I can either choose available to set myself to available or click on the X button right next to busy to remove myself from this busy state. Let's try both. In this first one, I will click on the X button and now it has removed me from the busy state and I'm available again, as you can verify with the state indicators. Simple enough. Here I've set myself to busy once again. This time, to make myself available, instead of clicking on the X button, I'll just click available. Similarly, you can verify by looking at the state indicators that I am indeed available. Following the same process, you can set yourself to do not disturb. In the State tab, select Do Not Disturb and then choose the appropriate reason code. Comparing to the busy state, being in a Do Not Disturb state or a DND state is likened to being absent to an agent group or being offline. When in busy, while you cannot be offered interactions, you can still receive interactions sent directly to your extension. For example, if your supervisor calls you at your extension or transfers an interaction directly to your extension. In DND state, you cannot be offered interactions even directly to your extension. As you can see on the screen, when DND state, your media icons and the little bubble on the avatar will be red. To remove yourself from DND state, click on the X button provided. It will then revert to your previous state before setting it to DND, which in this case was available. That's one thing to take note of. If I was in a busy state, for example, and then I went to DND state, when I remove the DND state, it will revert to busy state. This is by design so that we accurately capture the various agent states for reporting purposes. That may then be used by a supervisor or system administrator for shift or performance monitoring.